Welcome to the Dark Purple Podcast. It's Purple Fox here with episode 6. We got a second guest now on from the Guerrilla Gaming Squad. This is the CEO, Larry D3triot Guerrilla, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to be starring with us tonight. And I have the cracked out Chuck on the sticks with me as well tonight. How are you, Chuck?
What's good? What's good? I'm great. Staying safe, staying healthy. How are you, Fox? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well, staying safe, staying healthy, gaming, staying quarantined. So as I mentioned, we have D3triot Guerrilla Larry, as we're gonna talk. His name is, and Larry, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Blessed, man. Just like most of y'all staying inside as much as possible and trying to stay out the way and let this virus blow through so we can get back to regular life.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Stay in your lane, do your own thing.
Right. That's what I'm good at.
Mm-hmm. So can we get to know a little bit about you, Larry, so our viewers can know you? You and I met over Twitter a while back. I mean, before I, humble brag, am now a featured content creator for Guerrilla Gaming Squad. Thank you, Larry, for that, and a link up. But we linked up on Twitter
Yep.
a while ago, and then we got in contact recently. Tell us about yourself. What are you here for?
Well, like I said, my name is Larry Hence, man, A.K.A. D3triot Guerrilla. A lot of people call me Detroit. I was born in Detroit. Big time Pistons fan, Wolverines fan,
Jerome Bettis fan?
Yeah,
oh, Lions.
Of course.
Get out of here.
He went out properly, man. He won the Super Bowl in Detroit and then he retired. It gets no better than that. I would like them to have our uniform on. But
Sure.
So we can't seem to get it together. So hey, Pittsburgh is the next best option for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm 41 years old. Ex-military, got out the military, did 13 and a half years, 2 combat tours.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. I was proud to have served. I had a great time and met some great people, learned some great. Big up to the military for getting my life straight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been gaming all my life, really, probably since 3rd grade. When my mom bought me my first Nintendo NES, playing Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, things of that nature. And then she bought me a Sega Master System, and so I had the flexibility to go between Sega and Nintendo. And that's kind of been the battle over the years, but now it's Microsoft and Sony. So I played all the different landscapes. Video game has always been a great escape for me. Something I've loved doing since my childhood. Growing up, I used to look at the video game magazines and wish I could have been at E3 and some of these big forums that they have nowadays. Wondering what I could do to compete and things of that nature. But back then, that wasn't a realistic expectation. You had to get out here, get a trade, do something. Video gaming wasn't as serious as it is now. It did have a big following and a big mainstream overseas, but it's not like I met guys that were turning into professional gamers. So throughout my life, even in the military, we used to be staying in the barracks, pop some Madden in, some NBA 2K. One of my favorite sports games was the NCAA franchise.
Oh yeah.
But they took it away. Yeah, I was so pissed they took it away because we would have like 10, 15 seasons. And the camaraderie was just great, like being able to recruit and do all those things on your own. And just the competition amongst us in the military. When we deployed, somebody made sure they packed the PlayStation, and we had like a little old dusty TV. Nobody cared if anything happened to it. We took it over there and we gamed, man. That was like our relief. You come off of, pulling guard duty or security or something like that when you're down range and the bullets are flying overhead every day. Your life is on the line. That stress reliever just to be able to come back and play your homie in Madden shoot, what was my first deployment? I deployed '03, so Madden '03.
Okay.
And
Dang.
so yeah, so just to be able to come back to the tent and play and pick my Lions or whoever and just play against people was a great relief to us. But it's real life. That getting married and having a family. I still play video games. The funny thing about video games for me is my mom used to always tell me, she was like, "You're gonna outgrow that one day. Like, I don't see the purpose of it. It's stupid. You're gonna outgrow it."
Mhm.
And one of the things that I told her when I got older was like, I didn't outgrow it. I just now I can afford to fund it. I can afford to buy
Yeah.
bigger, better systems and better controllers and get better, more lavish setups. So
Mhm.
it's actually funny because it's something that she thought as I got older I would kind of let go. But here's a recently, there was a time maybe a couple years ago I did kind of fall back on the gaming a little bit. Just life situations, didn't really have as much time to play, and I've always had two systems, the Xbox and the PlayStation, through each one, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Xbox, and then once the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One came out, I had that as well. So I've kind of switched between mainly gaming on both. I've had friends, sometimes have more friends on Xbox than PlayStation, and sometimes more on PlayStation than Xbox. But as we got older, like I say, I'm 41, and the guys, I game with from growing up, they having kids and little kids, and they just don't have as much time. So I kind of just fell back on it until about a little over a year ago. I decided to go get back on my Xbox and clean up my friends list and see who still remembered me, and I changed my name at the time to, because I think before Detroit Guerrilla I had Detroit Bad Boy.
Mhm.
That's what everybody knew me as on both platforms. So I was like, let me go with Detroit Guerrilla. I liked it. Kind of fit. I
Mhm.
like the spelling of guerrilla, the kind of the unorthodox faction of guerrilla warfare. Being I've been to war and I've seen both sides, it was kind of like a mixture. So I said, let me go with Detroit Guerrilla and just start back, making those connections on Xbox.
Mhm.
And I got on there and I linked up with one of my homies. He's Stogie Red on Call of Duty. His gamer tag is Mont95. He's one of the guys in GSG. So
Mhm.
um, I think I linked up with him one day, and I think we were playing. It was when the Division 2 first came out, and we got in a party chat, and then he brought one of his homeboys who I'd never met. New Jersey Breed, which is another one of the members. His name is James.
Mhm.
Brought him into the party chat, and we got to talking. And he was former military as well. We got to tell him war stories, and Mont was like, "Well, man, I'm glad I made this connection with you all." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been trying to get back into gaming, but I can never find steady people that want to play." So I could play single player games, but that multiplayer is where it's at. Like, to have
Mhm.
you a crew to run through and dominate, like, there's nothing better to me on a Friday night sitting in here, especially during quarantine, and running with the fellas. Like, I mean, it's just wonderful.
For
So,
sure.
right. So he kind of was like, "Well, bro, I play video, I play a lot too, man. Let me get your gamer tag, man, do this, that, and the third." And I just started kind of shooting ideas to them. Then they brought their homeboy, Smokey Vision, which is also another one of the founders of GSG, brought him in the mix, and we just started running Division 2 in fours. We played every night, and I kind of was like, well, the streaming thing wasn't something back in the day that we had, but I started watching Ninja, and I had another homeboy, a friend of mine who actually started streaming before me, and he's actually been one of the ones that kind of motivated me and told me the things that I needed to get to get my setup complete. His name is Faith. And you catch him on YouTube as well. But he talked to me about some things, and he was like, "Man, you need to get into PC game." And I was like, "Nah, PC is not my thing. I've always been a console guy, And I started watching his streams and watch the evolution of how he got better. 0 viewers to 2 viewers to 5 viewers to 10 viewers. And I was just like, well, maybe I'll try the streaming thing out. And the guys kind of encouraged me and was like, hey, do it, and we get to be on stream too. You'll hear a lot of voices. So we started out. I just had a little laptop. It wasn't even a gaming laptop. It was just a laptop. I had enough space on it for it to run Streamlabs, OBS, and I had a real janky setup, which I'm sure we all have had at some point, because you got to start from the bottom before you can climb that ladder.
For real.
Yeah. So, and I started streaming. We started playing, and then it was just like, they were like, man, we should be like, like how it used to be back in the day where people used to form clans, and have a clan tag and this, that, and the third. And I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to do that, but I never had people dedicated enough. And they were like, man, if you do it, we'll be a part of it. So we threw some names out there. First, I was like, well, y'all want to do Guerrilla Squad? That kind of sounds dope, or Guerrilla Gang. And they were like, well, no, we don't want to put the gang part on there. We don't want to draw that negative attention. So I was like, okay, all for Guerrilla Squad. Say aye, and they went for that. So it started out with 4 to 5 of us. My best friend, Riz 27, who's Randy. He was gaming with us. So it kind of took off from there. Like, we didn't put that clan tag on GUSQ, and we played Division, and then eventually we got into some other games, and then we were like, we really felt like we could make a debut on Call of Duty, right? Because there's clans all over Call of Duty. There's known teams of people that run through Call of Duty. And along the last summer, I started streaming. I started getting better. I went to TwitchCon.
You went to TwitchCon?
Yeah, I went there. It was like on my bucket list.
Damn.
My homeboy Faith was like, let's not. He said, I'm going. He said, let's just go. He said, it's not going to be as big because Ninja switched to Mixer at the time. But
yeah.
He was like, yeah. I mean, he was like, the year before he went, he was like, oh man, it's off the chain. When Ninja was there, and Dr. Lupo, and what's the other crazy guy? Dr. Disrespect. I got to meet all Tim. Tim what's
Tab.
Yeah, so I had to really start doing my research on these streamers, and everybody, and I met up with a couple guys through Discord. I was in the what's the name of the Discord? Reload Nation. I was in their Discord with a guy called I'm Reloaded. He's a really good streamer. His name is Andrew. We linked up out there, and we just had a ball, man. And I was just like, this is fun. Like, to be grown and at that point where you could do things that you couldn't do as a kid, it was like, this is cool. Like, I'm in the video game scene. Like, I have on a Guerrilla Squad t-shirt right now, and I'm at TwitchCon. And, people were like, hey, Detroit, oh, you from Detroit? And start meeting people and getting followers and things of that nature. So it was pretty dope. When it came to the business side of things, it was just like, I felt like I'm at a place where I could we just don't have to be a clan on, Call of Duty or multiplayer games. Why can't this be a business? So I got the brainstorming and thinking about some things. And in January, I told my wife, I was like, I want to make this a business. Like, she was like, well, how are you going to do it? I was like, well, I can't really go full esports and house a bunch of kids and get trainers and all this. I'm not there yet. I want to start small, build up a following, get some guys in here that can game, and that truly want to be a part of this. And I said, as far as the monetary part, my plan is, and it's still the plan before, the virus pandemic broke out, was I was going to get a gaming trailer. I was going to hook up the gaming trailer. I was going to rent it out on the weekends, and do something on like Friday nights and go somewhere, maybe a lot that allow me to sit there and just post on social media. Kids can come out and play, $25, $30. I'll have pizza, something like that. Something for the youth, kind of to give back to the youth, because, the cool thing about esports is, not everybody, like you guys said, you played baseball, right? Not everybody's an athlete, right? Not everybody's an athlete. I played sports, but I wasn't going to the NBA. I wasn't going to NFL. But there's a market for kids that are maybe not athletic, but they know Fortnite like the back of their hand.
Oh, I think it's more than ever now that the market's growing for kids
Right.
in the video game. Like even kids that are young, growing up that are, 11, 12, 13 now, like wee little.
Right.
That market's going to skyrocket for kids like that, especially like you said, kids that aren't as involved in the sports or something, like band or something like that. They're just going to be video gamers. I mean, everyone's a video gamer, I think, now.
Yeah, at some point, but some of these kids just take it so serious. Like even my best friend Randy, his son, is 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. He's already speaking to Fortnite. I swear Fortnite has like its own book in its own language.
Its own lingo, yeah.
It's a religion, man.
Oh my Lord. It's so, and it's like, where do you get that from? Because me and Randy, we refused. Like Fortnite, we played it. Everyone played Fortnite when it first came out. It was just too cartoonish for me. And matter of fact, it came out when PUBG came out, and I was like, well, I'd rather play PUBG, even though PUBG was super horrible as far as finding matches and lagging out and being stuck and
maps not rendering in.
Bro,
it was so bad.
Look for a place to jump, and the whole screen's like gray. Where's the word?
I hated PUBG.
Yeah, but now it's like what, season 4 or 5? Like this thing has a whole thing behind it. Like it looks way better. I played it on the PC not too long ago. I was like, wow, this game has been overhauled.
It's a lot better now, but there's still a lot, not as many issues, I guess I'd say. Like the rendering's still kind of a thing. I know last time I played, I had some rendering issues. But I mean, like with like Call of Duty, I mean, we can get into that here in a little bit, but like PUBG is just like waiting to fall in the grave, man.
You think so?
I think so. Well, if you can
COD
play,
pulled off a great PUBG alternative.
I think I thought it probably would have croaked too. I didn't know Fortnite was going to take off, but see, Ninja backed that. So once they had put a face behind it, it was just, it's just genius how they promote these games. They even had them play Apex at first, and then everybody loved Apex, and then they just left it alone, So I think it has its own following. Now, I will say I don't know a lot of PUBG players. I'm not even serious to lie to you. I know a couple guys that I have on my friends list. They're on pub religiously, but it's like one of the things that the fellas want to do. If they want to get back into it, we'll pick it up. We've had our little fetishes, temporary. We've got into Apex over the summer, real heavy. I think headed into season 2. We did that, got a couple wins, and then we just kind of been back and forth. But the most steady thing we've been on is Call of Duty. So, but it's fun. But back to the business aspect. It's like I feel like I'm in a position now in my life where I can do something like this. I can make a gaming trailer. I can make money doing it. I can offer something for the youth in my community. Opportunity, an outlet to come and play video games and just get away from the realities of life, right? Because it's exactly what I did when I played video games. Is I used that as an outlet, especially in Iraq. Like I needed that outlet. You're under stress 24/7. So to be able to play guys, line up and play some Madden, 21 skunk, you're out, get off the sticks, pass it, or just get into those deep fourth quarter battles where every play you really have to know football to know what's going on. Like it's a stress reliever. So I just feel like that's something that I can do. It's not even going to stop at a trailer. The trailer is just the beginning. I think if I could build a nice foundation off of that, get the name out there, people love the business. That's why I have the shirts. You got one of the shirts, the quality shirts. Like people feel like, man, this is like not no bootleg operation. I could probably then move into a building and then have a video game building to where that's when I can really transition to the esports factor of things, because then I can, the teenage kids will come in and I can offer, bring people on that'll train in Fortnite or train in CSGO or train in, Call of Duty or whatever, League of Legends, all these popular games. because Virginia is about to soon is transitioning. They already have a pilot program for putting esports in schools at the high school level, to where the high schools will compete. So you either go try out for football, basketball, baseball, or you go try out for the esports. And colleges are about to, truth be told, like, pay attention to it. Esports is going to be, there's going to be a Duke esports team. Watch. There's going to be a Michigan Wolverines esports team, just like baseball, hockey, and everything else they have. And these kids are going to be competing at a high level, and they're going to, eventually go overseas or go pro and really blow the esports scene up. And this is kind of like the time to get into it. And, so I'm trying to build the foundation and the building blocks around that. I want really good people who genuinely want to be here. Like I told you, like, this is like family. Like, a lot of the guys, I have their numbers. I'll text them. I'll call them. Like, it's not just text message. Like, it's just not, jump in the Discord, like, if you need something, call, I'm here. I work remote, I'm blessed enough to have a remote job where I don't have to go into the office. So I'm here all day. So if you need something, let me know, and things of that nature. You want help with content or want to bounce some ideas off of me, and I really that's why I'm not opening it up to everyone. I have turned people down. Some people, want to just join the hype train, and this is not one of those things. I don't want somebody that's going to come and then 2 months later, they're taking, I'm a gamer for Guerrilla Squad Gaming, and put something else up on their tag, later on, because they feel like they're not getting what they want, or whatever the case may be. So, I do things like those that don't have logos. I have different artists I work with. I get them a logo created, ask them what they want and things of that nature, so that you feel like, okay, this is real, because there's a lot of gaming teams out here that when people, I had to tell my man Lethal Panda, like, he said people were trying to recruit him, and I'm like, it's cool, man. It's if you want to go, I don't want you to go, but he was, nah, I'm good. I'm straight. But what people don't realize is you can call yourself what you want. I'm an actual business. I have paperwork. I have a binder right here to the right of me with all my legal paperwork. I'm an official LLC.
I was gonna say, you have your official paperwork and all that for the LLC.
Right. Yeah, I have all that. Next year so this is the first year I stood it up. I have a full formation business. And
that's awesome.
I can file taxes next year. Matter of fact, all these logos I'm getting made, I'm just going to write all this stuff off. Anything that, I'm doing for the guys that want to be a part of gaming, I'm going to write it off, and we're going to grow this thing. That's why I'm just trying to get legit people in here, people that are worth, that money, because it takes a lot of money to have your own business. Like, I'm pumping a lot of my own money. I have made money off of the t-shirts, but with the COVID-19, like my distributor for the shirt, even the shirt you got, I was waiting on a re-up, but he can't get his shirts in, and they're probably coming from overseas. So, so it's everything. Everybody's just kind of tied down, and that's a quality shirt. So he's like, look, I'm gonna get you nothing but the best. And so that's kind of where we're at with Guerrilla Squad Game. There's just so many avenues that we can go. There's just different collaborations we can do for each individual to grow their brand as well as grow the Guerrilla Squad Gaming brand. That's why, when we talked, I said, look, I'm not trying to strip you of Purple Fox. Like, that's you. That's your following. Nobody's going to strip me of Detroit Guerrilla. I started out as Detroit Guerrilla, just streaming, the games that I was playing with the fellas. And that built up a nice little following. I built relationships through that. So, you've built relationships through what you do. So, yeah, we're trying to collab and be a part of a bigger picture. So that's kind of where we're at with GSG right now.
Yeah, I have to say the shirt though, they're premium. I have to say, it makes me, I kind of look a little bit bigger than I think I actually am. Right. Covers up my beer belly a little bit, fits nice on the arms. You know what I'm saying? I wear it around the house, man. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, man, I want to get out of quarantine.
Damn, start repping this, man.
I need to start repping this.
Like a sexy beast, man. Like,
yeah, I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Gotta let me fly. That's awesome, man. I really, I'm glad that we're getting to hear your story about where you started with gaming and now to the actual Guerrilla Squad Gaming LLC. Like, the path that you just painted for us was beautiful, and it's crazy to think about. I mean, Chuck and I are 24 years old, or coming up on 25. I mean, boomer here. A little older, but it's cool to see the path. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of people that are 41 years old. They're not gaming or doing that anymore, and they're like, you got to grow out of it. And I like the point that you said about like you just happen to never grow out of it because it's always just been an important part of your life, no matter where you were at in the world, what kind of stressors you were being dealt. Like it was always something that was important to you and that you could get relief from. And I like the story that you painted with that.
Right.
And I agree. And one of the biggest things video games is relationships. Like, if we didn't have video games, I wouldn't be able to play Xbox with Fox and talk to him every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just it's so nice to be able to just play with your buddies, play a game, and just chat. You know what I like?
Right. About everything. And then the sad thing is we chat. I have a Discord up now. I created a group on Instagram first because I didn't have the Discord. And me and the guys, like most of us, we talk all day and then we get on the game and we just keep talking. Like,
right.
It's helping us through these times because for some it's harder for some than it is for others. So just keeping those relationships alive, and guys jump like, you ever come through my stream, you might see one guy on and 30 minutes later he's gone. I got people jumping in and out. We might be 10 deep, everybody talking. I have to mute people. Like we might have several different games going on at one time. So it's just good that it's almost like a meetup, and everybody just talk about whatever and just it's our virtual way of hanging out,
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know, Larry, you said that you play Call of Duty. I've seen you on the sticks watching the stream playing Call of Duty. What do you think of the new season 3, updates? What's your thoughts? Are you strictly a Warzone player or are you multiplayer as well?
We kind of knew Warzone was coming because collectively we are all like digging for information and we kind of heard some rumblings of it. We were hoping, seeing that Black Ops 4 I think was the last one, which none of us really liked. We tried to get into that, but it's I don't know, it's just something about it. It's definitely not as fun as Warzone. So we started out just we started out hardcore. We strictly play hardcore. Now the part that sucks about Call of Duty in the hardcore mode is you don't get as many maps as you do for the regular unhardcore matches. Like if you want to play regular team deathmatch and some of the modes we don't get as well. So we thought that kind of sucked, but we start out with kill confirmed and then we did the cyber war a little bit and guys didn't like that. Then we got into the search and destroy, and that was kind of our niche because search and destroy kind of reminds me a little bit of it slows the game down. Some people don't like that. Being that I play a lot of Rainbow Six,
hell yeah,
I like it slowed down. You
hell yeah,
sit and camp it out, but that's the cool thing about being with the 3 or 4 of us are veterans, so we kind of know the rules of war. If you're somebody's going to attack you, you don't just go run out, right? You just don't go run out. You kind of wait for them to come. You get strategic positions and you wait.
Right.
And what do everybody call that? Oh, fucking camper. Yeah, I'm going to camp. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to run around and find you. You have to come to me. You're coming for me. So a lot of people don't like it because they feel like it's a camping mode and this, that, and the third. But you could play it strategically. We know when the numbers are looking right. We know if we got a 4-on-2 on a 5-on-2. I'll tell them quick, hey, go out there and hunt.
Rush it.
Go
rush
out
them.
there and hunt because
Go get them.
Yeah, we got numbers. Let's go out there like some dogs and hunt. And I'll do the same thing on Rainbow Six.
Oh yeah.
So, but the season 3 content so far it's been pretty good. I saw that people were mad, but the thing I'm gonna say about Call of Duty this year is they're very responsive to our feedback. So the release came out Wednesday for season 3, last Wednesday, and they took away trios for Warzone and Plunder. Well, people were mad about that because they felt like, well, you're going to give me solos, you're going to give me duos and quad. Well, what if I don't have 4 friends? Now you're making me autofill with a rando, So, and then by like Thursday or Friday, they brought it back. I think I got a patch Friday. Matter of fact,
yeah, it's quick work.
Quick work. Like they read the feedback. And that site Reddit is a big driver. Like they really rely on Reddit, and those guys were bashing it. And then they brought the trios back. Now you got solos, duos, trios, and quads. And so far season, I played a lot of it this weekend. I am gonna say I don't play it as much as the rest of the GSG members play it. Just because I got to tend to the wife, I got the kids. My kids are home. They're trying to do this virtual teaching stuff, and I have other things that I have to do. So I'll get on a stream. I try at least 4 nights a week, and then I try to use the other nights to watch movies with the wife or spend some time with the kids. This, that, and the third. And truth be told, that a lot of
Hello. I think the
season 3, from what I got to play, man, it's pretty dope. I like it. I like the skins. I like the content they're bringing. You're getting a weapon. They're bringing it. They're doing what I always wanted them to do. As far as soon as I get bored with Call of Duty, then it's like season 4 is coming out next week, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right. I guess I'll see what that's about. So they're bringing out stuff at a rapid pace. If you think about the body of work of Call of Duty, since I played the first Call of Duty, shoot, it had to be over 10 years ago.
Yeah, it would have been 2012.
Yeah, or maybe even before that.
The MW2 came out in 2009.
Oh, really?
So
yeah, that's 11 years ago. Yeah, so it's been over a decade.
Wow.
Right. So think about how it's evolved, and even last year they weren't, for the Black Ops 4, they weren't even bringing out material every year. I thought they could actually take a year off, but as the guys
they're not going to do that.
Yeah, they're broken down into 2 companies now. You got Activision Blizzard, and you have I guess just Activision, or however they break it down. So what they're actually doing is they're saying we are bringing it out every other year, but really or not, we're still getting a Call of Duty every year. So season 3 is pretty dope. I've enjoyed it.
Right. So one other thing, going back on old CODs, did you get the MW2 remastered campaign?
I thought about it. I had thought about it going back down, and because that was back when I used to actually beat the game.
Right.
And multiplayer wasn't always available right away. When those CODs were coming out.
Right.
So you took joy in just, well, I'm just going to play, the single player, and you used to beat the game and get rewards that you could take in the multiplayer. Different guns, different skins, and that was kind of cool. I had thought about getting back into it, and I was just like, I don't know. But then I saw that they may even put a multiplayer on it, so I was like, man.
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
1v1 quickscopes on Rust again.
Oh man, that might be some good streams right there.
Oh yeah,
that's content.
Right.
Top notch. I remember when I was like 14, I wish I could stream. It was me behind a mic. I was one of those kids that would get so aggressive over the mic, bro. So aggressive. The people, I'm behind Xbox right now, man. I don't care who you are. I'm talking crazy to you.
Right. And
chat man was so toxic too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what we talk about. We was like, yo, you remember being in the party lobby, and the guys just, and it's just so funny because it's so easy to throw around the N-word, and they were just throwing around, and we'd be like, these guys are so, like, they threw it around. It's like we're not even mad. Like that's nothing even new. Like you're not even really digging in your bag of tricks to like.
Yeah.
So we would go and we would bust your fucking ass, man. Like, oh my god, like we would punish you. Like now, truth be told, like Guerrilla Squad, I try to keep them a little bit under control, but sometimes they, you can't control the apes, man. They get a little out of control, but and it's almost like I want Guerrilla Squad to be like, yeah, I'm at the head, so I have to talk a little different. I have to do things. I have to seem professional, right? Because if I'm gonna have a gaming trailer, I don't want, you know, a parent tuning in and it was like, oh, stream, you were just getting drunk and cursing, and but then again, that's what I've done my whole adult life. Like, got a drink on Friday night, played the game with the fellas. So I don't want to change too much of the base of what I have, but I do try to clean up some things. I do say, hey fellas, like, we're on stream. But I mean, sometimes we get in there and you see in a hardcore search and destroy, you see 6 GUSQ members and people back out. They back out. And that's because those guys are playing. I just come in at the tail end at nighttime and play. But they've already destroyed shit all day. They've been pissing people off, sending me clips. Yo, check this out. C4 at this guy. And they're like, oh, we made these kids run. And then they tried to send us messages. And then they tried to ban us, report us to Xbox. And I'm just like, look, guys, like, I get it, but, chill. So by the time I get on, sometimes, people don't even want to play as and for some reason I can hear. I don't know, however my setup is. It's funny because I can hear the actual party chat. So in between rounds, I can hear what they're saying.
Do they still have that? I was just thinking that. I remember in Modern Warfare 2, you could do that.
Like, it's funny, man. So it's crazy. Just the whole Guerrilla Squad thing. Just this from Modern Warfare 2. Like, we haven't shut up, And it's fun. I'm a competitor, man. And y'all play sports. Y'all competitors too. What are you gonna play for?
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
You want to win. I want to punish you. I want to come out there. I want to beat you. Now, I don't necessarily have to talk trash at first, but if you start running your mouth, and then you're gonna get smacked. And I try to be respectful and just be like, do my thing, but I think I learned with Rainbow Six, because I wasn't really good at Rainbow Six at first.
That community is so toxic.
Oh my god, I used to be trash at Rainbow. Oh my god, they had to carry me, man. I would go on 6 like it was nothing.
That game's relentless for newcomers. I know when I started playing, I did the same thing. I'd be I mean, I just was playing like 3 weeks ago, and like I got pretty good at the game, and I went like 3 days in a row. I got like 4 kills total, bro. Like, it was just insane, and I was like, I mean, I've been pretty close to plat a couple times and stuff, and like I ain't that bad, but I was just getting relentless, man.
Right. And it brings in a lot of new people. I mean, and truth be told, Ubisoft, hats off to them. They brought a game that they said that when they did Rainbow Six, it was a 10-year plan. I didn't think it would last this long. I mean, we're in season 5. They have 5 more seasons lined up, in one single game. Like, I wish everyone would do that, because, it doesn't make sense to come out with a Call of Duty every year. But, I mean, I'm hearing this. It's going to be like an old school Black Ops is going to be the next one, going back into Vietnam time, which we'll kind of see how it goes.
But going back on that, they have to come out with CODs every year, because like Fortnite, you have seasons now. Seasons, you can update the game, you can update the maps. But like back in MW2 days, they had to come out with one every year because it was hard to update. All you got were your maps. You couldn't generate a new, like, you couldn't keep a game and have it stay for 5 years, because it just wasn't possible. So they had to do COD every year. So that's just why they're sticking with it. But realistically, with Warzone and having seasons, they have a BR seasons, they have multiplayer. They could just add on and add on and add on to this game like Fortnite is. They don't need another one.
I think they could. I think they could switch it up. They can bring a lot of old school maps. Like, look at the maps that we're in.
Crash,
Rust,
Vacant,
the
Rust,
airplane,
yeah,
the airplane level. Like, that used to be my level right there. Like, coming through the broken plane into the airport. Like, I mean, they're bringing back stuff. They're really listening to their community. They're giving us everything that we want, like all the popular maps that people used to kill it on, just in 2020. They're doing a thing. But I'm interested to see, because, we haven't, back in the day, a few years ago, me and the fellas used to toggle between Call of Duty, and Battlefield.
I love Battlefield.
And Battlefield was a tough game. Like, I mean,
Which Battlefield? Which Battlefield?
The one we were just talking about it on stream the other night. I'll tell you one of the hardest ones, the ones with the cops and the robbers.
Battlefield 4?
Was it Battlefield 4?
I'm not sure.
Hold on, I can tell you the name of it right now. It had the cops in it, and you were like, the storyline was like you were some cops trying to bust some drug dealers. In fact, I could tell you the name of it right now.
Well, I know Battlefield 1 is by far my favorite game of all time. I used to play multiplayer. Oh, bro, that game, for some reason, is like...
Tickled Fox fancy.
Tickled it, man. I was so good at... Like, humble brag, but I was so good at that game. And I just, like... Every game, dude, I was dropping 60-plus kills. I was using, like, a sniper only. Like, I didn't even need... like the assault rifles or anything, because I would just I just like, I don't know what it was about that game. I love the mechanics of that game. I love the mechanics that they had. Now Battlefield 5, that they just the newest one, was kind of like not that great. I was very unimpressed. But Battlefield 1, the mechanics of the game, the overall environment of the game, the whole like. I played Conquest, so you went through and captured each like territory and stuff, and like
that was the one where you capture it and then you move on to the next part of the map.
I think so. Yeah, and dude, I just loved like the progress of capturing the games. I mean the everything, the sound effects, the environment of the game, just being. Right. Just fully immersed with a squad and actually running like your little squad of 4 with another squad of 4 and all running like playing the game. It just
there's the game, so much going on.
It's so much.
Map. I mean, they had the biggest maps at the time. It was just like you'd hear stuff going. You'd see a tank off in the distance, and people parachuting in, and helicopters and. What was the one where they added the planes? They added the jets in there, and it was just like there was a million things going on. For me, as a soldier, it's like this is what combat is, fellas. Like everything going on at one time. But that Battlefield I was talking about was Battlefield Hardline.
Hardline, that's right.
Okay,
Hardline. Yeah. That was the first one. Now. That's what I like about COD when they came out with Plunder, because there was a mode on Battlefield Hardline called Blood Money, and it was similar to Plunder. I think you had to get 1 million, or you had to be the team within 20 minutes to get the most money. Now you would go and get this money. I think you would kill people and get money, but there was different deposits across the map that you had to place the money in to kind of secure it, and then you had to defend it, because people could come in there and blow it in and take your stats. So that was one of our favorite Battlefields that we played. I liked one as well. And Hardline came out in 2015, but I think now I heard they're coming out in 2021. I'm just kind of curious to see what they're going to do. Are they going to take the rainbow approach? Maybe have a 5-year plan, season passes, things of that nature. What genre they're going to, as far as the war, and things of that nature. But that was, Battlefield and COD back in the day, those were our games. You would get Battlefield first, because Battlefield always came out in October, and COD always came out in November. So we would find ourselves trying to split time and make excuses about why Call of Duty was garbage and play more Battlefield, or make an excuse about Battlefield and play more COD. But we used to struggle with that, and we used to keep them for about 6 to 7 months before we decided solely to just keep one and put our energy into that. But I mean, now there's some, like, I struggle. I want to play Rainbow Six. I have Doom. There's so many games out. I don't. If I streamed every day, I'd be able to get this stuff in. But it's like I can't even do it.
We play so many games. Like Chuck and I, we were always playing together. We'd be playing Apex, and then we were just playing Siege the last couple of days. Like my big thing with like switching games is like my aim, because I play shooter. That's all I play is shooter games.
And the movement.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The controls.
Going from Apex to movement
Mhm.
to Rainbow Six movement and shooting is just awful.
Right, right, because
It
you can
just
risk it in Apex and be all right. In Rainbow,
right.
you can't risk anything.
No, you
No,
get
one tap to
punished.
the head, especially
One
like
tap
if
to
you're
the
using
head is a wrap.
Pathfinder. Yeah, especially if you like using Pathfinder or something and you have that grapple, you can just get the
Right.
fuck out of there.
Yep.
But in
Yep.
this, nope, not a chance. You get tapped in the head with a pistol. See ya.
Later.
See ya.
Right.
Give comms. Go give
Yeah.
comms.
And that's the kind of dope thing about it. Like I remember when I got back on playing Rainbow after playing COD for like a good month,
You
and
get
then it was
punished.
like, yeah, it was like, oh man, because and there's certain things like you ever notice, like so the switching of the guns, the cannon scope back and forth, left and right.
Mhm.
Then I get Call of Duty, I'm trying to do the same thing, but I'm like, oh,
Yep.
it doesn't do that on here.
Mhm.
Peak shots,
Wrong game.
don't count.
Wrong game.
Yeah, try to peek a corner around a box to get that nice sweet shot for the stream.
Uh-huh.
Not getting that on Call of Duty. You're gonna have to pump some bullets in. So
Yeah.
that's the difference. It's like there's so much out there. You almost like I see why people choose one or the other. And they just put all into that. So
It's hard. I mean, like I said, Chuck and I, we were out playing Apex. We've been really grinding Apex, and I kind of want to. I don't move into. You said you played Apex a little bit back in season 2, but the new Bloodhound event. What was it? The Old Ways, I think, is what it was. The title of the event was.
The old ways.
And I mean, it is just. I'm blown away. For me personally, I played Apex when it very first came out. I was always kind of played Apex, but really grinded Fortnite a lot. And then after season 10 of Fortnite, that was the end of it. 9, really. That was the end of it for me. And I started playing Rainbow Six and Apex and dabbling with other games because all I played was Fortnite, just Fortnite. And getting into Apex now, like season 4, this is the first season that I played the complete season from start to almost finish coming up here, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed myself. I mean, this new update of Bloodhound and his skins and the duo's permanent. Chuck, tell us about the duo's permanent, would you?
I don't even want to talk about the duo's permanent yet. I want to bring up an old episode when I brought up to switch maps and just have both maps, and that got brought into this update as well. So I thoroughly love this update. I wish it was the way I said it was, but I do like how it is, how it switches maps every hour and a half, I believe it is. And then you have at night Kings Canyon, World's Edge. So you have you just get the mix. You get to play all 3 maps and just nonstop. And now you don't have to wait, or you don't have to play with a shitty third. You can play duos.
It's big, and I think it's real big. Like I said, I mean, you mentioned it with Call of Duty, like they were right on it. I mean, that is one thing that Apex has been very stern about, is not to put solos and not to put duos, and they've always been strictly duo or trios. Haven't switched, and they've had their limited time events and stuff like that. But to add in the permanent duos, I had a clip I put on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it, but I was literally so excited on my stream. I was literally just like a little kid in a candy shop to play video games that day. Like all I wanted to do was just play video games and play it, because finally, Chuck, we didn't have to have some shitty third in our squad.
Yeah.
It was just like
just right hand man next to you.
That's it. That's all I got to worry about
forever. Yeah, I feel
it was so nice, so nice. And Fox loves the skin that he bought for Bloodhound as well due to this event.
So
I think that was most of the hype behind.
For sure. That skin is just so sweet. So when you played Apex, Larry, did you have like a main legend that you usually played, or like who did you prefer?
I used to use Bloodhound a lot. I probably had most of my kills and most of my victories with him. I started out with Caustic at first, when it first came out, just because I was like, oh, let's see what he does. But the thing that I like about Apex is jumping on and off of it, it's like if you don't get back on it, I can feel like you kind of lose it, because each player has a strength and you have to know how to use that strength. I have watched, when I was at TwitchCon, so I got to watch a Fortnite tournament, and I'm talking about these kids were playing for like $3 million, and the Apex. So there's different days. They had League of Legends, Fortnite, and Apex. And I really sat down and I watched Apex, and I was like, wow, like you really, if that's your character, you know all their strengths and weaknesses, you know what to do, what situations to use that. So at that point, I realized I didn't know Caustic at all, because I've seen some things with him that I'm like, wow, because I used to just throw those gas things out anywhere and just, winging a prayer. But it's just really certain situations in which you need to do it. So watching people play and use their favorite characters and really have them, just character skins are crazy that I've seen. I like the events that they have. Apex has been good with like Halloween, and I know Rainbow Six did the same thing. And it's kind of cool because you get stuff, and then 6 months afterwards, somebody be like, well, man, where'd you get that skin from? And you're like, well, I got that from last Halloween. It's no longer available. And it's the same with Rainbow. People look at my like, yo, where'd you get that from? I got this season 2.
Yeah.
So they're not bringing it back. Like, if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. So it gives each person a chance to have their unique character, their favorite character be unique. And yeah, I mean, I used to run with Bloodhound. I kind of got good with him for a little bit, and I think if I kept playing, but I didn't have so much, I guess, like Apex players around me. Like, we just played it like we would play Call of Duty and this thing. Like, people would keep switching up characters because they didn't. Oh, this round I'm gonna go with this, and it's like, I think you really need a consistent group of people that know the strengths and weaknesses of their character, and y'all are able to flow, kind of flow together. And that's what I noticed. It's a strategy.
Oh yeah, the unspoken communication between like players. I know, like with Chuck and I, because like we play all video games together. Like Chuck and I grinded Fortnite like hard, where we were actually able to get into like a semi-qualifying tournament for the Fortnite World Cup. Yeah, for the Cash Cup and shit. Like we grinded hard. So like Chuck and I have been playing video games like a lot, every game. We've been playing Apex together, and the one thing I noticed in Apex with Chuck and I especially is like when you play with someone so much, and this goes for really any game, but you have like an unspoken communication. Like, I know what Chuck's gonna do, whereas like if I'm playing with someone else, like I got my buddy I'm always playing games with, but it's not the same like where Chuck and I are always playing the games together. It's like, I know Chuck's gonna be making this move, so I'm just gonna go there because I know what he's doing.
Right. You do the move to counter his move, so that it's fluid. You guys look like a machine. Like, every piece works together. Not this guy's over here. He jumps out early and says, "I'll catch up."
And that's why I'm so excited for permanent duos, man.
Yeah, it's like in a sixth sense. Like, you just know what I'm gonna do. I know what you're gonna do, and we can just run it.
Yeah, you ping one or two things, but you just like when it comes to the flow and the rotation of movements and stuff around the map, like you know what the other person's gonna do, and it's nice to be able to then rely on that. And now again, like I said, I'm going back to it. Permanent duos, man. I don't have to worry about some shitty third not covering my ass.
Right.
It's just it's a relief.
And that's dope, man. And I guess, from Call of Duty perspective, that's kind of where the guys that we game with, that's kind of where we at. When Search and Destroy, we got really good at calling and moving as a unit. Even if the guys were dead, they were calling out things. And, that's one important thing that people don't realize on Rainbow Six. Like, if you die, okay, you die. Yeah, okay. Get on the cameras. Give me some call outs. Yeah. Give me some pings, man.
Oh, yeah.
Don't just sit there and watch me on a 1v3. Give me something to work with. So I think with Call of Duty, especially, I think that's why we play so much Plunder. We kind of know where we want to go. and everybody kind of splits up and does their thing. And then as soon as, shit hits the fan, we kind of know how to move. We know where certain vehicles are placed, that if we want to get our cash and get up out of there, we know what to do. We're quick to take some cash and hop in the chopper and go. Or the problem sometimes that we have, right? We get into personal beefs. So, a team will come in there in the same place we're at. They'll kill us, take our cash. And then sometimes every now and then they'll be, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going back to the spot, and I'm going to kill them and get my cash back plus their cash. And then it just becomes a back and forth. So we're on this one piece of map, both dropping in to fight each other, three other guys or four other guys, back and forth. We haven't even gone to any other buildings, get any other cash. We're really just exchanging cash. So what happened the other night, I posted some clips recently on my Instagram. We like to go to the boneyard, and I'll say that because I don't think at any point that's a secret. Boneyard used to be, before they did the update, I think Call of Duty called it Boneyard.
Scrapyard, baby.
Yeah, you could go and get 700,000 easy. Easy money. For 3 people, you can go and get 700. You could clear the boneyard, get 700,000 if you didn't die.
Yeah.
So what happened was we were cleaning out the boneyard. It's not as lucrative now, but we're in there, and these guys were over there, and we killed them, and then we were going to move out, but then it said, "Oh, your enemy's dropping back in." Okay, well, they're coming back, and they came back in. We shot them again, and then we tried to roll, and then they dropped in again, and I was just like, I said it on the stream. I was like, "See, this is not what I wanted to do. This is not what I wanted to do. I want to get the cash and go." They gave us $1 million.
Damn.
It's the first team to $1 million. They gave us $1 million. We were at like 800K between, because that was when the quads. So this was Friday night. And with plunder now, they call it blood money. For each kill, I think, the kid will drop 20,000. So they kept dropping in, and we got to $1 million just sitting in that hangar. And it was just so funny because it's like it felt good to be on that other end of that spectrum, because usually we're the ones getting wiped out and we lose all the cash. And we were like, you know what? We're not even going to place now. Let's just go kill these guys. That's not what it's about, because you have team deathmatch and all those other things. We have an objective, So, but when you run with guys, that's the beauty of it. You know what each other's going to do. The call outs are good. Everything flows. So yeah, for y'all to be able to do that in the duos and not have that third that's just going to try to figure out what you're doing or doesn't have a mic. Oh, that kills me all the time. Why do you play multiplayer and don't have a mic?
I know.
Or mute your mic? Like, I get it. Like, gaming is a social thing. Like, you should. How else are you going to make friends? But I've been there. I've been there on Apex plenty. I've streamed Apex last summer, with two randos, and I'm just like, hey, hello, you guys there? And they're not saying nothing. And they'll point out a place, and one guy will jump here, the other guy will jump here, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm just playing single player now. Because they're somewhere on the map that if I go down, they can't even get to me. So, and then it makes it boring. So if you don't have a crew of people that could flow fluidly, it makes it difficult on these multiplayer.
Oh yeah, for sure it does. I mean, I think like Siege specifically, coming with a squad and comms is the most important thing. I think Siege, like in general, is like the most. How am I trying to explain? The game is, you have to have comms. You have to have a good orientation with each other.
Then don't. I'm just gonna put it out there. All these gamers out not gonna communicate. Don't buy Rainbow Six Siege. Don't do it, because it absolutely relies on communication. If you're shy, you don't want to make new friends, then there's plenty of other games that you could do, and you can kind of maneuver it, fake the. Don't do Siege. Siege is a top of the line tactical game, and you have to, coming from a soldier's perspective, for someone that's had to kick in the door and clear a room, you have to communicate. What is that?
Yeah.
So,
well, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. I know. I feel like we're like 10, 15 minutes in. but we're coming up here on the 1 hour mark. Is there anything that you want to tell us about yourself that you haven't already, Larry? We got to hear your story of gaming, and where you're at with the LLC now. Tell us where we can find you, what your plugs are, and anything else that you want the audience to know about you.
Yeah, sure. So right now we're on all social media platforms. I stream as Detroit Guerrilla under Twitch. I am going to have a Guerrilla Squad Gaming channel created. I do have guys that have been motivated to get into streaming and doing some things. They just have to get their setups right, and I want to be able to broadcast them on that. But as far as Twitch, Detroit Guerrilla is where you can find me. Twitter, Guerrilla Squad Gaming, and Detroit Guerrilla. Instagram, Guerrilla Squad Gaming, Detroit Guerrilla, and I'm on Facebook Gaming as well, as I just made it Guerrilla Squad Gaming, because I just really kind of want to showcase the guys. Like I tell them, if they want to stream and things of that nature, I'll give them the little tidbits that I know. It's like I say, I may not, in 10 years, I may not be streaming. I'm still going to be playing video games. Let's not get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I may not be streaming. I may have a different role in this, to where I'm supporting the guys that, the 24-year-old guys that are ready to break the mold and go into this seriously and do other things. So necessarily for so some of their gameplay can be seen. It brings my competitive juices out. Those guys make me better. Am I the best? No. Being a part of Guerrilla Squad Gaming, though, I was telling someone, I'm not looking for the best players. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not looking for the best players, because if you're going to look for the best players, they're either A, they're taken, right? They're up under another team.
Sure.
Or B, they're going to get to a point where they're just going to be like, hey, well, Team FaZe is offering me this, and I'm gonna go over here and be, real time gamer. I want guys that are good. Don't get me wrong. Now, I'm not looking at kill death ratios. That was the biggest thing back in the day. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. When I used to try to get into some of them clans in games, they were just like, kill death ratio needs to be 1.5 and this, that, and the third. Guerrilla Squad Gaming is not about that. I just need you to be good on a particular day, right? Because we're sports fans, right? I'll use the NCAA basketball tournament as an example. Number one seeds have gone down to teams that probably shouldn't even be in the NCAA tournament.
Great example.
You just have to be good in that game. That's it. And that's what wins you. That's what puts you on top. So I'm looking for young men, young women that want to be a part of that. Some people have said, well, I don't think my KD's good enough. I don't know. I don't. It's a pressure. All right, because they feel like their kill death ratio, and they have to have so many this and that and the third. And the Guerrilla Squad game is not about that, because if I can get you in there and you keep working with us and we all make each other better, right? In the gaming community, we all going to make each other better. And then when it's time for a tournament, because I've had guys, two of the guys that played for me, they played in a tournament. I paid for the tournament. It was just a $10 tournament. The pot was like, 200. It's however many people got in it, that was going to be the pot. I'm not taking nothing from that. I mean, $200, $300. If we start talking about, $100,000, then we're going to have to get some contracts.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to get 20% at least, because I'm paying the cost for you to get in it, right? And they lost the first round. They were very nervous, and oh man, I didn't mean to make the brand look bad. No, you're not making the brand look bad. You know how much it takes, how much intestinal fortitude it takes to come and just go and play in that tournament. Like, not everybody can do that. So you made me proud by doing that. Now they lost the first round, and then they went in the losers bracket. They whooped everybody's ass and got back in the winners bracket.
Well, there you go.
And that is good enough for me. You just need to be good. Like, it's your first tournament. I understand the nerves and all that. So it's like, nah, I'm not a dictator. I'm not Saddam Hussein. I'm not gonna feed you to the lions. Like, nah, we're gonna build this thing. We're gonna keep working. Everybody's gonna keep practicing, and we're gonna get there. We're gonna start in the $10 tournaments, and then we're gonna move to the $30 tournaments, $75 tournaments, and so on and so forth. And eventually, people are gonna know, like, hey, man, Guerrilla Squad Gaming's in this. Like, okay, we may have to, put our best out there. So, for all those that are interested, that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for people that are dedicated to being a part of something new. Now you have to be good. You just don't have to be, super great.
Cracked, as the kids say.
Right? Yeah. I'm not even like
not like Chuck.
I'm trash. But I don't need to be good. When you own something, like, I don't have to be good. You think Robert Kraft, like, he probably doesn't even use Kraft. He probably doesn't even use Kraft Ranch. He probably use Hidden Valley. Who knows?
Exactly.
He doesn't need to prove that. He doesn't need to prove anything. So it's that's what it's all about, man. So follow us on all social medias, Guerrilla Squad Gaming. Only where it's different is on Twitter, because somebody else took my name.
Oh, damn them.
Eventually we'll get that fixed, but it's just Guerrilla_Squad, and you can find us on there on Twitter, and Instagram and Facebook, Guerrilla Squad Gaming.
Yeah,
Yep.
So, cracked Chuck. I mean, you're cracked. Chuck, where can we find you, my friend?
So first, I'd like to say thanks, Larry, for coming on. Being a part of this, being our second guest. It was awesome. Thanks for serving our country.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, no problem, man. But you can find me at HunchochukK on all platforms. I
don't think I follow you. I'm gonna have to look you up on Instagram and
please do. I'll give you a follow back, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely follow you, man. So let me ask y'all something, man. Y'all
sure.
ask me a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
man.
Go for it.
I mean, so you guys got a great platform. This is pretty dope. This is one of the reasons why, I wanted you to be a part of Guerrilla Squad Gaming, Fox. Is you kind of have a format and a place. Where do you want to take this podcast? Like, where does it go? I mean, we watch a lot of things. Like, we both were part of where we still are. Good Gaming Report. Where do you see your podcast kind of going as far as along those same lines?
So, I mean, in reality, I was on Good Game Report. Is actually kind of, I was on a few podcasts beforehand of another gaming community, and I liked being on, I like being able to talk to people. I'm a very extroverted person, so when it comes to making friends and talking to people and being involved in like a community, I'm all about it. And so with the podcast itself right now, obviously we're only in episode 6 with many more to come. And what really put the idea in my head was when I was on Good Game Report podcast. Shout out to Good Game Report, great community. If you guys want to get linked up with them, just let me know. I'd love to put you in there with them. I mean, as a whole, our 3 communities, you got GSG, Purple, and Good Game Report, and putting all those together makes this one giant big community. And doing that podcast gave me the idea, man, I want to do that. I was able to be a guest on the podcast, but I wanted to be a part of a podcast every week. I wanted to be in the production. I loved the idea of it. And then I was able, I brought the idea to Chuck. And we're putting things together. We're starting to get guests on. Like I said, you're our second guest. And we're moving in the direction of wanting to expand out into the gaming community to help spread the brand in general. So the Purple brand that we were trying to get at, bring people on, be a part of the community, bring them into the home at Discord. Also reaching out to people. So one of the big things I know for myself is, having that reach out to people on Twitch or Mixer, for instance. Their discoverability is very small. So you have to, as a streamer, a content creator, you have to expand out to Twitter. That's how we got linked up, or going on YouTube and making videos. And one thing that I thought that is new and unique, again, that is starting to come around in the gaming community is these podcasts. Podcasts have been around for quite a while now, but a lot of podcasts are strictly pro gaming related, into the pro scene. Whereas I liked the idea that Good Game Report had about being gaming related and strictly about games. So we talked all about games tonight, and that is the main idea of the podcast. But like I said, Chuck and we're real good friends outside of gaming, so sports. So a lot of the topics we'll talk about are sports related. We want to make the podcast about life. It's not just about gaming. And so that's the idea, is going into the future, we're going to bring on people that aren't gaming related. That's the idea, is to bring on people that are interested in the community sense of being in the community, meeting new people, whether it's a person that wants to be a content creator, a person that wants to be just a streamer, a person that wants to be just a YouTube video, or a person that wants to be on a podcast for their first time because they want to make their own podcast. They want to be on the radio, or just anything. That's the point of the podcast, is to get it out and just talk about anything. Shoot the shit with your friends, with the people that you get to meet, and make those connections between one another is what it's all about, at least for me.
Right. I think that's pretty dope, man.
Mm-hmm. So for me, adding on to Fox, what he just said, it's getting us out there. Like, if you listen to the podcast, you get more than what you see on Fox's stream. You get more than what you see on his YouTube channels. You get to see our friendship. You get to hear stories. You get to hear how we started. It's just, you get to hear all different things on this podcast. So it's just another branch for this community to look in at us and be part of this community and see what we're about.
It's like that outside the line.
Mm-hmm.
People get to see that we're more than gamers. We're human beings. We have families, and we do everyday things. That's one thing that I liked about, Good Gamer Report is, even though I told Fox, they're like the ESPN of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt, watching some of their stuff and just interacting with some of the people in their community. And I haven't been as active here lately because I stood up my own community and I'm trying to get that going. And then I'm in so many other communities. It's hard to keep up sometimes. I had to leave a couple, but I like the idea because it's like, wow, that's genius. Like, gamers don't have a platform. Like, who's talking to them? ESPN is not calling us to put us on there to, they're not talking to Ninja and things of that nature. So
exactly,
I'm sure he's on a big podcast somewhere, whatever the case may be. So I think this is pretty dope. This is something that has legs, and I'm sure that you all can get this thing running and get a variety of people on the podcast to talk about everything, and even ask them, "Did you ever play any games?" Because some people they played it back in the day. Played passively played. You probably would get some pretty interesting interviews.
I think, too, like I said, I think at the beginning, everyone's got a little bit of a video game in there. Like I said, I'm from Pittsburgh, so I'm very biased on, sports. But Juju Smith-Schuster, he's a huge gamer and a absolute top-notch wide receiver in the NFL. So like, just for an example, you bring the whole sports world in along with adding the gaming to it. There's a little bit of game in everybody, and in the future we'll have these different guests, but I don't think anyone's gonna top you, Larry. I have to say, I want to say thank you for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure and honor to have the evening with you.
I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate you guys. It's an honor for me. Like, no one's ever offered me the opportunity to be on a podcast and kind of talk about Guerrilla Squad Gaming, other than sending some messages through DMs and stuff like that. So I hope this is something positive for all of us that get to kind of hear the story and kind of know where I'm going, and they will be a part of that. They can reach out.
Oh, for sure. Well, with that being said, we are going to wrap it up. It is your man Purple Fox here with Chuck and a Larry Guerrilla Squad Gaming, Detroit Guerrilla. We are signing out on episode 6 of Dark Purple Podcast. Thank you for listening.
We out.
Yeah.